I'm embarrassed because I've been playing this for the last several days up until we got on, and for some reason something's happening where I'm freezing up, and I don't know.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about something. First of all, don't be embarrassed, okay? Because this is not. This is all science. What I mean by that is you either have it or you don't have it. And if you don't have it, cool. Then you go back into the lab and you work on it. And if you do have it, great. Then we, work on something else that you don't have. All that means is that you got to work a little harder on it, because this is more closer to the real world than the safe practice zone without any pressure on it.
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. So, for example, if I said, hey, man, you had to do these exercises in a gig, it probably would have been fairly similar. The results. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
It does.
So
let me do it again.
Well, we got a lot of stuff to go through.
Okay.
So here's what I want you to start doing. All right. First of all, let me think through this for a second. I know you are out there gigging and you're jamming with your bandmates and stuff like that. Do you ever do what we call like sort of laboratory performances at any other time, practice performances?
When we're rehearsing, yeah. I mean,
okay. Yeah. All right. Here's what I want you to do. You feel comfortable playing in front of your wife?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to, when you feel like you got an exercise down, okay, I'm going to give you 2 little things you can do. And I do this all the time. This is one of my secret weapons, man. Okay. When you feel like you got it and everything's feeling good by yourself, I want you to call your wife in the room, somebody who you trust and love, who you're not afraid to hit a wrong note from, right? And I want you to be like, hey, baby, can I play this for you real quickly? And that's going to give you what we call a laboratory test of whether or not you really have it, because it's a different animal to play for other people.
Right.
Okay. So I'm going to write that down. That's the very first thing I want you to do. Okay. So laboratory performance. Man, I can't even spell laboratory for the life of me. This is what happens, man, when you flunk out of kindergarten. Laboratory. Oh, okay. I see what I did wrong. Okay. Cool. So laboratory performance, I want you to do it on the thirds and really anything else that you feel good with.
Yeah. I mean, probably all of it, but
it's got to be, you don't want to do it early. You don't want to be like 15 minutes in, you kind of got it down. You want to be like, I got it. I feel good with this. And that's where you want to do the test performance. Okay. Right. Now, you may play great and you might not play great. Okay. And actually, I'm using the wrong words. I shouldn't use the word great, because that attaches some emotions to it. You may achieve the objective and you may not achieve the objective. That's a better way of putting it. Okay. Now, if you don't achieve the objective, don't go to the closest whiskey bar, man, and drown your sorrows and question your manhood and your musicianship, whatever like psychological voodoo we can do. All it means is that you got to go back and work on it again and work on the specific areas you had problems with. So in this particular instance, man, okay, the B minor chord, you were pretty consistent with missing it. You only got it like half the time.
Right. Which I don't know why, because like I said, I've played it enough.
Again, though, Terry, you're misunderstanding the role of pressure. Okay, you had it when everything is safe and you're wearing your comfy slippers and stuff like that. Right. Gotcha. So this is how real pros practice, man. Is once they get it, they add some pressure in. That's a much closer test of what's really going on. Okay. The other thing is you got the D minor, but you missed the G7. You went to the 13 as opposed to the sharp 11. Right. So that was another one, and then you kind of gave up on yourself after you missed that. You're like, shit, man, all done from there. So I'm trying to think what else. The A7, you missed that also. Okay, so for the A7.
The A7. Yeah, right.
Exactly. Okay. And then the E7, you got like 75% of the time. Unfortunately, this is A plus or fail. You know what I mean, man? It is what it is, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, brother.
Right.
You either have it or you don't. So, yeah. So those are some more specific areas.
Okay.
Another thing you can do laboratory performance wise is record yourself also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because
which I don't do normal all the time, but I've done it before, so I know what you mean.
Ooh, Terry, man, you just got me riled up, man. I don't need any more coffee for the rest of the day, brother. Okay, man, you ready for the real truth here, man?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's funny, man. With the passing of Kobe, I didn't realize how big of a fan I really was of him. And what I mean by that is, like, I would watch like a Kobe Bryant video at least once a week, something on him, man, because I just admired, I don't care where you are and what you do, man. You got to admire somebody who's gone that deep into their craft, right?
Right, exactly.
And I knew that Michael Jordan watched game film a lot, but it didn't fully make sense. I don't know if you've ever had this before with like a mentor or somebody will show you something, you'd be like, oh, that's cool, whatever. And then somebody else explains it from a little bit of a different angle, and all of a sudden it just like a light bulb goes off, right?
Right.
So when I heard a couple interviews, this is years and years ago, it was like at least a decade ago, man, they were like, Kobe's like, yeah, man, all I do is watch game film, game film all day. I watch every game this day. All of a sudden just kind of was like, oh shit, that's what you do, man, to be a virtuoso. Okay. So here's what happened. I stopped practicing as many hours as I was. I just practiced a lot smarter. So when I was at Berkeley, I had 12 hours a day to play the piano.
Right.
So I could be inefficient. But now, man, I got a lot more stuff going on in my life. So I got to go in and really, tailor stuff. So recording yourself and listening back is potentially the most nutrient rich form of practice you can do. Okay. So I'm not into lecturing. So I'm going to give you an assignment. I want you to record yourself 3 times this week.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. Now I've got a couple, we can go super deep. We can spend a whole year on how to learn from your recordings, but I'm just going to give you the highlights right now. Okay. First of all, there's no emotion attached to it. Again, it's science. Objective achieved or non-objective achieved. Okay. And you want to listen to it enough times where you can start seeing some trends, both good and bad. So for example, I'll give you a perfect example. So let's say there's a mistake in first time you listen, some people will be like, oh, that sucked. Well, I don't know how to fix that. Sucked. Okay. But you listen to it again a number of times and you keep asking yourself questions, quote unquote, what sucked? Well, man, my rhythm was bad. And then I would say, okay, well, was your rhythm bad through the whole thing? Well, not the whole thing, more like just the first like maybe few bars. Okay. Now we're getting closer. So your rhythm was bad in all the first few bars? No, not really, man. Just kind of like in the first chord and in the third chord. Okay, cool. Now we got an area. We got a musical area. You keep asking yourself questions until you get to exactly what the problem is. Right. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Now, repeat back to me your interpretation or your understanding of what I just said and how to do it.
Well, you talked about recording and the importance of hearing back and well, I'm drawing a blank on the points.
Okay,
I mean.
Oh, good. Well, first of all, it's nice that we have our recording here for you to watch again, right?
Right.
But I also want to make sure that we're leaving this lesson, you understand what's going on. So let me give you a more specific example, and then I'll ask you the question again. I want you to record yourself doing this exercise. That'll be more specific. So once you feel like you got it, then you record yourself doing this exercise. So again, it's another version of the laboratory performance, testing out with a little bit of pressure how you do. Okay. So let's say you listen to the recording and there's a couple clams in there. What should you do?
Identify that and maybe work out those 2 or 3 measures, or
winner chicken dinner, man. That's it. Okay. And it's also not, again, it's not always just negative too. Like sometimes things are good too. So good, you know, like we got this part down. So that's good. I can feel comfortable here, you know? So it's listening objectively.